Hi my friends, how you doing? So today I'm here to share the eyeshadow makeup tag. So this was a tag that was invented by Samantha and Allie, and I thought it was super cute and fun, and I wanted to, just show you my take on it. If this is your first time here, my name is Gigi. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. Please take a second and click that red subscribe button below for more, and without further ado, let's start. Alrighty friends, let's get started. As I mentioned, this tag was invented by two girls. They're super sweet and fun to watch. I've watched them for years. I think I've watched Allie, the longest. I love her. I don't know, she's just so sweet and calming, and same for Samantha. She's always having these really fun videos and I love to watch them both. So it is super fun to do something that they invented. I think it's really cute. Alright, so question number one, show your newest palette, and it is right here. It is the newest ABH Norvina Volume 4 palette. This is Pro Pigment palette. It has eyeshadows, it has pigments, and it has some pressed glitters in it. I really liked it. I did a review on it. If I have any reviews on the palettes that I'm talking about, I'll make sure to link them below. But the review on this palette, it is really complete. You're gonna see swatches and everything. So if you're interested, check below. But yeah, this is my newest palette. Whenever it came out, I needed to have it. It was so colorful. You're gonna see that I'm not super out there, and my palettes are really neutral for the most part. So this is a colorful one for me, and it was super exciting to get. Question number two, show your oldest palette. And it is right here. This is my Too Faced chocolate palette. This is the first palette that I ever bought, you guys. Do you guys remember these days? YouTube days, whenever everyone was having one of these chocolate bars and you smell them because it still smells a little bit yummy, but not too much. This guy has seen better days. It doesn't look so used, but I did love it whenever I bought it. It was my first ever palette and I can't get rid of it. Every time I look at it, I have to keep it forever. It doesn't even close properly, but it's always in my collection. I will never declare this guy my chocolate bar. Yeah, so this is the oldest palette that I own. Question three, show your most expensive palette. I mean, if you think about expensive, what comes to mind? Mama Pat. This is the most expensive eyeshadow palette that I own, and I will never get rid of this box. It's just like so beautiful. This is her mothership FAVE. It is, is it not? It is her Bronze Seduction. I'm sorry. So this is her. And yeah, you guys already know Pat's palettes are super pricey. These guys are so heavy and luxurious, but the formulas are just amazing. So yeah, this is the most expensive palette that I own. Number four, show your most affordable palette. And this is it, you guys. It is by Older Girl. It's called Wonder and Lost Eyeshadow Palette. And it is super pretty and colorful. You may think that I've never used this guy, but I have. I purchased this, I think, last summer, and I really liked it. Maybe I used it 3 times or 4 times, something like that, but it is really good quality from LA Girl. I think this is like 8 or 10 bucks, and yeah, so this is the cheapest palette that I owned. Number 5, show your everyday palette, and it is right here. It is this one by Charlotte Tilbury. It is her Pillow Talk palette, so her bigger palette, and it is actually what I'm wearing right now. I just find that this palette is just so easy. It's just a no-brainer kind of thing. Whatever, like whenever I want to use eyeshadow, I just like grab this, and it's simple, you know. You get like 1, 2, 3s, and you can just shift a full shadow using those 3 guys, and I really liked it. Today I'm using this row, so like 1 and 2, and then I'm using this one all over my lid, and it's simple and it is easy, and the mattes in here just blend so beautiful. I love the formula of this palette, specifically by her. So yeah, this is my everyday kind of palette. Next question, show your most colorful palette. And since I already told you I'm a neutral girl, I have to say this one because I don't really have anything like this in my collection. I have some other colorful palettes and you're gonna see one next, and I have one by Juvia's Place. It's also the Masquerade, which you get really pops of colors in there, but it has a lot of neutrals. Here you don't get that many neutrals. So yeah, this is my most colorful palette. Show your smallest palette. So for that one, I have two options. I'm not sure. So I have these Snap Shadows by Fenty. They are so tiny. Look at this. Like they're super tiny. So this size of my finger almost. And then I have a mini from Natasha. So I don't know. These guys are tiny. This one, oh my god. This is her latest mini retro palette. I love this guy so much. Whenever I was thinking about my everyday palette, I was between Charlotte's and then this one. So, you know, I love this guy for everyday. It's just so easy and simple, but you're not asking me that, so I'm sorry. Tiniest palette, one of these guys. Your biggest palette. And my biggest palette is this one, which is Jaclyn Hill's Volume 2 palette. This is from Morphe. You guys know Morphe palettes are so big. So yeah, this guy is my biggest one. But I'm not going to talk about it because we're going to talk about this palette in just a little bit. Next question up is show your palette with the best memory. So for this one, I have to repeat again a palette because this is the palette that I remember and I have great memories whenever I think about it. So as I mentioned, this is my oldest palette, the first high-end palette that I ever bought. And the memory about this guy is that I bought it the first year of my nursing school, and it was super pricey for me at the time. I remember getting, I'm in Canada, so we do get OSAP. If you're here, you know what I'm talking about. So we do get OSAP to pay for school, and I've just gotten my OSAP to pay for my nursing school. But you know me, I like makeup, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do one splurge and I'm not gonna do that ever again. So I purchased this guy. Oh my god, I remember those days. It was so cute. That's why I love this guy. Like, oh man, yeah, good times. I guess I was about, how old was I? I think I was 19. Yeah. So wow, so this guy is 11 years old. That's crazy. Get out of here. Show a palette worth the hype. So I'm going to talk about Natasha Denona because I haven't shown you Natasha Denona yet, and that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite eyeshadow formulations, period. I like it better than Pat. I like it better. Like, I just like Natasha. So I think the Sunrise palette, it is so worth the hype. With this palette, you can do anything you like. Of course, if you like your warm tones like I do. I feel like warms, they just really suit my skin tone. That's why I like them a lot. And I love these berry shades. You know, I love that if you cover these, then you get your really neutral, so easy to use. And then you get those two yellow really pop of colors. This palette is worth every hype that is ever gotten. I don't know, I love this guy. I really do. I think it's worth every single penny. So every time I hear someone talking about this guy, I'm like, yes, you hyper girl, because it deserves all the hype in the world. It's amazing. Next question, show a palette not worth the hype. So I'm gonna be honest, I am super selective with my eyeshadow palettes. Complexion, I'm okay to, you know, just to go around, try many things. Eyeshadows, I don't do that. I don't have, you know, the time because it is really pricey. So for that, I'm just gonna talk about Jaclyn's Volume 2 palette. I think this was hyped. Whenever it came out, it was really hyped. A lot of people liked it, and I don't like this palette. This is a colorful palette as well, so this could fit in the, you know, colorful category and whatnot. Oh my god, you guys, this palette is just like, it blends away. It is so colorful. It is really pigmented. You're gonna get a punch of color whenever you use it, but when you go to blend it, it just disappears. Oh, I hate this guy. I just did my review on the Norvina palette, and those colors, like, you blend them so nicely, and they're so pigmented, and they are there. Like, you blend them and you pack them, and it's just flowy and beautiful. This guy, yeah, it goes in thinner. Don't buy her volume 2, guy. I know her volume 1 was really hyped as well. It still is to this date. I know a lot of people liked it. I've never tried it. I can't talk about that one. But number 2, not worth the hype. Next question, show your favorite palette from a favorite brand. And my favorite eyeshadow palettes formulation period is Natasha Denona. So my favorite palette that I have from her is her Metropolis. You couldn't tell, I just love, I love my warm tones, and I just find that this palette, you know, it is a little bit cool if you go over here. If you go here, it's really warm, but you do get your pop of colors. I just find that I have a lot, like it is really a lot going on in this palette. It is not all warm tones. It is a nice mix. I've used this guy all over my lid, and it just gives you a beautiful olive, neutral, yummy eye. I don't know, I love this guy. So yeah, Natasha Denona is my favorite brand for eyeshadow, and this is my fave from her. And then last but not least, show your most used palette. So this is a tricky question, you know, when you're doing like YouTube, like you buy things just to review, so you do get to have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, so it's really hard to pick one that you use the most because you're always rotating. One that I haven't mentioned, and I do love, and I love every single shade in here, and every time I use it, is Tati's palette. This is her volume 1 Tati Beauty palette, and you guys, this is just an all over good palette. When I use this palette, I just get like super simple and easy looks. The mattes are super blendable. I love this peachy shade. Where is it? This guy here, this all over the lid is just stunning. The shade is just like so soft and like yummy. It makes my skin like really pop. The glitters in here are great. So I think this is one of my most used palettes for sure. This Tati Beauty palette, I highly recommend it. If you haven't checked you know, her palette, I know it was sold out for a long time, but I think she brought it back and it's still, you know, around. But yeah, this is a great formulation palette that I can't get enough of. Alrighty friends, and that was it. This was so fun, you guys. Oh my god, it was so fun. If you're a beauty content creator, please make sure to do this tag, because it really puts everything into perspective, and you're thinking, you know, I should use that palette more, or is a little bit of a shop my stash kind of thing. So I think it was super fun. So give me a thumbs up if you enjoy. Thank you so much for all your love and support. If you're a beauty creator, do let me know in the comments that I could come over and share the love. Why don't we do a little bit of a tag ourselves? I'm gonna tag all of you, so I'm gonna leave a comment pin with the questions so you can answer them. I think it should be so fun if we can all talk beauty. Let's do that. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed my video, and do not forget to click that red subscribe button below for more, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.